All right, welcome back. Doug Gottlieb, Ric Bucher, and Jason McIntyre are back. Let's continue with the NBA.
You'd say that James Harden's not even the most valuable player on his own team. That Chris Paul, once he left, they couldn't beat the Warriors and didn't look like they had a chance. They ended up losing the series. So I'm with you on that. And the NBA would help us if they took your definition, or they took any definition and said, this is what most valuable player is. They don't, because then we continue to have debates because everybody has their own definition of it. I give LeBron James the MVP. It's sort of, you just step back. Don't give me the numbers. Don't give me anything else. You look at who's the most important player, who has the most effect on the game at all times.
No question.
It's LeBron James.
Welcome to the Ric Bucher Show.
Oh, look at that. And we spare no expense here. Yeah. I'm intrigued by them because of their point guard, Dennis Schroeder. Who's that guy that creates the matchup nightmare? Now, for the Hawks, people were saying Paul Millsap. I never quite bought that, especially when you got to go through Cleveland. What I've seen early on from Dennis Schroeder is that he is, long, athletic. He's a little bit erratic. He's got to find a mid-range game. But he finally gives the Hawks that element that changes the dynamic where, okay, who are we going to match up on him? We saw it with the Warriors the other night. Steph Curry could not guard him. Klay Thompson could not guard him. They put Draymond Green on him at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're investing your best defensive player to stop Dennis Schroeder. Yeah. Now Paul Millsap has a mismatch. Now who's going to guard Dwight Howard? Now you're opening up things for other guys. Dennis Schroeder has to come through, but if he does, it changes the equation for the Hawks. It was okay playing for Pop and doing the San Antonio Spur way when you're winning championships. He hasn't won a championship since 2014. That's 4 long years doing it the San Antonio way. My only issue with Kawhi is just tell us. Tell us why you're leaving.
I agree with Bola.
Don't tell us it's like, I don't trust the franchise anymore because of how the injury was handled, and I want to go to L.A. Okay, wait. What is it? You want to go to L.A., or you don't trust the franchise anymore? Because if you don't trust the franchise anymore, then you want to go someplace where you can win and where you're comfortable, and you're not targeting a destination. He wants to ultimately go to L.A. because that's where he wants to live. That's where he wants to play. And if you're going to, if I'm not going to win championships, I might as well live and play where I want to live and play, and San Antonio just isn't it.
And said that they're getting too cool when they have leads. Is Towns the guy, or is Wiggins the guy, in your opinion, Buke, who needs to be the one to lead them in the second half?
As much as they may get out of sync offensively, that's not the issue for me. First of all, they give away that lead in the third quarter, so now they're playing from behind. So now you're thinking offensively we need to get it going. You're not thinking from a defensive standpoint. But with their athleticism, that's how they have to think. If you get stops and you play off of your defense, now you're going to get easy transition points. They don't think that way. No. They're thinking, we're down by 14, we need to score. And all of them want to take on the responsibility of getting them back there. But that's not how you end up winning games in the NBA. The problem with LeBron is that the talent is there. It's that one integer, that one mental element of I'm going to impose my talent on you all the time. I look at Michael Jordan, particular, because it really comes all back to Michael for me, right?
Of course, me too. Right.
His ability to play without the basketball, which I think is vastly underrated, or his willingness to go not just on spot possessions, but for an entire quarter. I'll never forget this. The 93 NBA Finals.
We were just talking about
and he decided Dan Marley's not going to touch the ball.
Right.
You guys take care of that.
Right.
I'm taking Dan Marley out of this.
Right.
Dan Marley was lucky to get a shot off.
Right. Yeah.
That wasn't for one possession here and there.
Right.
That was for an entire stretch. And I just feel that we're in a generation now that never saw Michael Jordan dominate in the multitude of ways that he did and went out and made a point of doing it and did it not in spot situations, but he imposed his will on the game. And I cannot remember a time where he didn't, one way or another. We've already anointed, Andrew Wiggins is a future superstar. Karl Anthony Towns is a future superstar. Based on what? They have great individual talent, no doubt about it. Their athleticism and some of the things they can do, the rudiments are there. Being a superstar, it goes back to my MVP thing. Do you make the game easier for the people that you're playing with? They are great individual players, but the reason they're not winning is because they don't know how to make the game easier for everybody else.
Which is
it
what
seems-
happens when you're a supremely talented player who's still 19, 20, 21, 22 years
yes.
old.
But there is that, like, can you make that leap? Because how many great players have we seen that never learn how to do that? The other part is that he was genius. In the 5-6 weeks when he had the worst plus minus, he dogged it. He forced them to change that team. I don't know if the original team goes to the finals. He basically disappeared on them, forced them to change up the deck, and ultimately put a team together that wasn't good enough to win a championship, but certainly was good enough to get them to the finals. He not only was the most valuable player, he was the most valuable general manager.
I think what's